She strived very much to project certain ideals. All of you know the ideals that she had, that we should all be courageous so that we can stand up for certain principles. She demonstrated that. You also know that she was a person who believed in transparency. Whatever she did it with the light of day shining on it. Again, if the light of day shines on actions, people don't do things behind the scene that can be detrimental to the public or to the rest of us. So transparency. And that was transparency both in handling funds as well as transparency in terms of speaking what you really mean and what you really feel about an issue, and no doublespeak. So that was one of her ideals. And of course, we all know the ideal of being mindful about the fact that you can't deplete resources and expect to be well off after you deplete them. And she also had the ideals of people appreciating that much of the conflict that we have amongst ourselves as populations result from dwindling resources, and so there's a linkage between those two. And she was striving very much towards the end of her, I would say, well-being, to demonstrate that we should have understanding and appreciation that much of what happens in politics results due to the fact that resources are becoming scarce and all of us want a piece of the pie, which is drinking. People would not become too worried about her as a person. Just as I mentioned to you a minute ago, now we will have to organize ourselves to cope with the gap that she is leaving. She didn't want that happening if she was here to do something. So she didn't want to fear people to fear that she's not going to be here to do 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so rather than have people start perhaps thinking about, worrying about, oh my heavens, what shall we do? She decided to keep that discussion at a minimum, and let's do the job. So she focused on actions, and that kept her from feeling perhaps the importance of her own illness. She was the chairperson of the Department of Anatomy in Veterinary Medicine for years. And therefore, she's an important contributor to the development that has occurred in that department. So we must give her credit for that. Yeah, because I went away on leave several times, and I remember myself being a little bit surprised because she didn't inform me before I went on leave. We travel rather frequently, and when I discovered, that she's not feeling well, she told me, "No, Vert, I didn't want you thinking about that in the airplane." So she didn't tell me either. Okay? Yes.